Hello, you awesome people, and welcome to our second webinar for 2017. And this one I'm particularly excited about. This one is creating profitable, high-converting websites and lead pages developed and produced by your trusty pal, Edward Zia, marketing mentor. Now, it's funny, actually, this webinar means a lot to me from many different viewpoints because ultimately, a lot of my own success, a lot of my clients' success has come from having a powerful website and really leveraging their online marketing. This has been actually in high demand to this webinar. And to me, there's a lot of things that we really need to keep in mind here as we work together tonight. Now, your website is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And tonight's webinar, be it you're watching this live or listening to me live or you're listening to the recording of this many months or years in the future, if you get your website right, and it's my goal tonight to give you some great tools to help you do that, you are going to make some serious money for jam using a bit of an Australian colloquialism. It is incredibly important because I'll tell you what, and this is the way that it works. It can be very easy to play on LinkedIn, Facebook, do your emails, knock on doors, meet people at networking events and that type of thing. But if we don't have a high quality website backing it up, it can end that process. People can not take us seriously, but talking to the positive by having a great website. When people check us out when we're not there, they get impressed and they totally love it. Now, I want to give a big acknowledgement and a massive shout out to the awesome Martha Arifin. Now, Martha Arifin's a great friend of mine. I've known her for years. She's an amazing woman. She runs a business called Trusted Web Expert. And if you need a website, please talk to her. She's absolutely fantastic for small and medium business type websites. If you're after something of that, she is she's the best man in town, best woman in town. No, but seriously, Martha's fantastic. If you want an introduction to her, please ask me and I can do that. She's fantastic. And what's interesting is I just want to give her some credit, actually a lot of credit. So a lot of the input, a lot of my website understanding, and some of her slides are straight from Martha. I just want to say a big shout out to the awesome Martha Arifin. Now, about Martha, I just want to give you just a bit of information about her so you know who she is. Specialist in WordPress. She is amazing, and her website link is right there, trustedwebexpert.com.au. Now, let's get into some awesome stuff. Tonight, we're going to talk about helping you get more profitable, high-value clients, increasing your revenue, and giving you more time for what you love and your family. The website is the way to go about it. Just let you know, this will be recorded. It is being recorded now, so probably about 10 o'clock this evening, Sydney time. The recording will be coming out through my Facebook community. And also, as well, I'll be emailing it out tomorrow. So if you miss the recording, if it doesn't come through or whatever, just send me an email and I'd love to furnish you with it. Now, for those, I know a few of you on the line, a few of you I haven't met, so it's a pleasure absolutely meeting you. Just for those that I haven't met, my name is Edward Zia. Throughout my marketing career, I've generated over 100 million Australian dollars for my clients, which is actually a lot in Australia. I've worked with thousands of business owners to help many go from 0 to 6 figures in less than 12 months. I've also got a postgraduate in marketing from Monash University, and I am a fellow certified practicing marketer of the Australian Marketing Institute. I'm also a disciplined ex-military federal agent, and I'm very well connected. And the bit that I want to make, and this actually relates to the website, every week I am hitting new events across town. So I have the viewpoint that I don't know everything, but I am forever learning and staying progressive. Also as well, if you want a copy of these slides, please just ask me. I've also got a lot of great materials in my blog and on my website. And just to let you know, just some legal stuff, this is general educational advice only. Please don't listen to this and go spend 20 grand and lose it all. Please talk to me before you do anything, just to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. Now, let's talk websites from a strategic point of view and then dive into the detail. Now, whenever we talk about marketing, it takes time to get a client. Very rarely do people just meet you unless they're a referral or something crazy and just turn around and hire you immediately. People work through the process. They start off as interested in you. Then some will become fans, which means they like you, but they're not giving you money. Then some will actually buy your services. And assuming that you do an amazing job, some of those people will turn into advocates and refer you. Now, talking websites, the warmer the traffic, and what I mean by traffic warmth, and this is important, when you send traffic to your website, if it's people that don't know you, that's called cold traffic. It's people that know you and like you, it's called warm traffic. So the problem is that if you're sending people to your website that don't know you and don't know your business and don't know your brand, it can take a while to educate them before they actually want to purchase from you. It can take months. Usually a lot of people will need to know me for at least 6 to 12 months outside of a referral before they hire me. Now, what a website does incredibly well is that whether your traffic is cold or warm, of course, warmer is better. By having a better website, it increases the likelihood of people making some kind of inquiry. Be it they might just opt into your email database, they might sign up for your free ebook, they might check out your blog, or they might even buy your online product, depending on what it is, or they could even go to your Contact Us page and say, hi, I'm interested in what you're doing. Can you please give me a call and check it out? This is very important because the better your website, the more likely you are to turn people into clients. One of the other strategic considerations as well, which is very important, and I actually encourage you to spend a bit of time reading through this, is all about placing the customer first. Now, at the end of these notes from 1955 from Caltex, it makes a great point. A customer is ultimately someone who brings you their wants. It's your job to handle them in a profitable manner. And this actually is a very important point in relation to websites. And I was actually with a very big military industrial supply client yesterday that do high-end silicon. Interestingly, when I started working with them about 2 or 3 years ago, they used to get a lot of small leads. And I mean, people just wanting $50 worth of product. Now their minimum order size is usually at least $20,000 because ultimately it's not just getting leads that's important. It's getting the right leads. It's getting the right clients coming through. In fact, I was actually just literally on the phone to a new hopeful client, the way it's going, before, and just giving him a bit of a business advice. And what was interesting is that they have lots of clients coming through their business, but they're not the right clients. And for that reason, they aren't getting the growth and success they need. So what's important is your website has the image to keep those right people going through. Another strategic consideration I wish to place, which is very, very important, is your business has to be wonderful. Your marketing is only as good as your service. So if you've got any problems in your business or your service isn't up to scratch or your product, please fix that first before you do heavy marketing. And just the final point as well is abundance thinking. Now, I want to apply this in the point of view of a website. Now, you probably may have heard me talk about abundance thinking before. As a marketer, abundance thinking is being an opportunist. You're not worried about what you don't have. Your mind and your thinking and process is busy focusing on bringing in new high-value clients. Now, this is very important, and I can't stress this point enough. Regardless of who you are as a person, your website has to send through such a powerful, positive, abundant message. So be it you're a printer, you're a marketing mentor, we've got the awesome Karen Wallace on the line tonight, who's an amazing executive leadership mentor, who's just amazing. Regardless of how amazing you are, does your website communicate that? And that's absolutely critical. So we've talked about a few different high-level angles, and it's very important that your website gets that through. Now, let's go into a bit of street-level detail and start going through the webinar. Also as well, friends, you will notice that if you're live on the line tonight, you can enter in questions. Please give me questions. Questions are wonderful because I can give you the exact answers and everyone can benefit from it. So please type in your questions at any point. I'd love to answer them. Now, just going to go a bit of information. Internet. This is just straight from Wikipedia, more or less. The internet really came out in the 1990s. And since about the early 2000s, that's when websites started becoming serious parts of company marketing mixes. So you've always had websites throughout the 90s, but really early 2000 was a lot of companies really started taking online seriously and started spending tens and tens of thousands of dollars, talking big companies here, on websites. Now, over time, as time passed, you can create a website for free, right from spending thousands of dollars and creating websites for free, or if you're a small business owner, you might spend a couple grand to build something absolutely amazing. Now, everyone's websites are complete expectations. We are all expected to have them. Now, to me, this is where it's going. This is where the industry is going. So whether you have a website or not, whether it's good or not, whether it needs a massive update, mine certainly did last year, and I'll be talking about that later. Everyone is expected to have a website, but I'll tell you what some of the changes are, and this is how the industry is impacting us. It is expected that your website integrates beautifully with social media. So gone are the days that people just go to your website and judge you. Depending on your business, they'll check out your LinkedIn page, or your LinkedIn profile. They'll check out your Facebook page. They'll check you out to see if you're on Instagram or not, if that suits. They'll want to see that you're active because, let's face it, have you ever checked out a business's page, website, and think this looks okay, and you go to their Facebook page and the last post was 2 months ago? What kind of impression does that leave you? And that's very important. So your website is absolutely critical. And you need it, though, well integrated with your social media. And here is the analogy, and this is the way we always explain websites to obviously our Australian audience, or if you're in America or UK, you might have Westfield there too. Westfield, massive, great shopping centre concept, and we see websites as a similar thing. Imagine your website's your own little shopping mall like a Westfield. Your goal is to get as many of the right people in there to have a long, positive experience as possible. Now, what I mean by long positive, you don't want people going through your website hating it, can't finding stuff, because that frustrates them. They're not going to turn it on to a customer. But if they're having a great experience and they love it with smooth navigation, them turning into a customer becomes more likely. The other key point that I want to make as well is your website is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, interesting, I've had 3 leads come in today. I was actually responding to a lead through someone I'm connected to over Facebook. Amazing woman. And what's actually interesting is right now she's actually on my website. And putting a lot of detail to that is while I'm sitting here running this live webinar experience, I've probably got 3 or 4 people right now checking out my website. And think about it from that point of view. Your website is a salesperson, so you've got to put the right information on there to make sure that it sells all the time. I absolutely cannot stress it enough. Now, we're going to get in a bit of detail here. Like a great salesperson, your website speaks to the visitor's issues. So it's not, your website's not how wonderful you are or how good looking you are, albeit I think you're all very good looking. It really talks to their issues and it talks in their language. And this is the point I want to make. It influences both the subconscious and the conscious mind. And what I mean by the conscious mind is obviously you're saying the right things. That makes sense. But the subconscious mind is something else. Is without them engaging in conscious thought, they're like, wow, this site's pretty cool. They're not consciously thinking about it. They're just subconsciously feeling, okay, this person's serious. This is a serious company. I like what they're saying. And this is very important. And I know awesome Karen Wallace, you would get this point because you're right in the zone here. And awesome Jeff Goss, you would get this point too. I know you awesome ladies would. It's very important that you're making that subconscious impression on people through your website digital experience. Okay, very important. Now, there's a bit of 2 definitions I want to make. So we're going to talk through slightly different areas tonight. We have what a website is. You know what a website is. A website is the website for your business. It's the main site that sits on the web. Now, a website is usually a gateway. And what I mean by a gateway is that depending on whatever you're selling, what various services, people come into your website and I'll show you a very good example later. It offers a gateway so people can go to your website and click on what they want and go in exactly the right direction to get the right information they want about your business. It's very important. That's the way it goes. Now, a lead page is quite different. I just want to emphasize this, okay? Now, you notice in the screenshot here on screen, this is the page from the webinar that you're actually listening to now. A lead page is quite different. A lead page usually is not part of your website. It usually stands alone. You can use a program like Lead Pages, which I'll be talking about later, and usually has a singular objective. So a website's quite informational rich, and it's about giving people the right information, making it beautiful so they can spend time, go through your website, and then they might make an inquiry. They might call or email you or whatever. A lead page has a singular objective. So it could be to opt into a webinar, a free ebook, email capture, lead capture. So I just want to put them out there. They have 2 different objectives. Now, it's very hard to sell something of a lead page. Lead pages are great for free stuff because there's not enough information to sell something where you usually need a full-blown website, which is the gateway of information to actually sell stuff. So that is very important. Now, this is straight from the awesome Martha Arifin. And I don't want to spend too much time on this one because I actually want to show you some physical examples. So that's to me is quite important. I'm just going to shoot through this very quickly. You want a great brand, good brand logo and colors. You want a great tagline and value proposition. Responsive and mobile friendly. Now, if you want to get clients from Facebook, actually full stop, forget Facebook. You must have a mobile friendly website. What I mean by mobile friendly is you test your website on a few different phones, an iPad, a Surface, and it looks just great. Almost all sites now are mobile friendly, but what can actually happen is you can buy a mobile friendly site, but the content isn't put up there correctly. And it looks good on a PC or a tablet, but it might look awful on phone. So what I always say is make sure, if you get your website, you test it on a phone and you make sure it's working on the phone. It's got to load fast, great SEO so you appear on Google. I'm just going to skip a few here to focus. Social proof, you want to have great testimonials. You want it up to date. And also as well, you'll notice there's a tab there which has acknowledgements. If you've been out in the media, if you've been very successful, it's great to list it. And the other point I want to make is, you notice at the bottom, you've got contact. That's very important. People can easily make contact. And if you look at the bottom right, there's automation and resource. Now, automation is such as integrating lead pages where people can opt in, get instant access to your database, get instant materials. That's great. And resource portal and membership. You might have a members only area. You might have some great tools on there. So here are just some different examples of a powerful website, which we'll preface some of the examples we're looking at. Now, this slide from the awesome Martha Arifin is just an example. And to me, this is the hub of a website. This is the gateway that it makes. So imagine your website sits at the center of everything. You have all these different media, be it real world, be it the online world, that send traffic to your website. And it is absolutely critical because ultimately your website is yours. It is your hub. Your website is where you want people to go. And it's funny, actually, I'll just talk to you personally. I'm talking to you personally, but in particular, what I experience, day in and day out. People find my website from all sorts of angles. I can meet someone at a live networking event and they check out my website. They might find me through just Googling something. They might find me on Facebook. There's heaps of different ways that people can go to my website. But my website is so damn powerful. And I say that because I get a lot of leads and business from it. So people check out my website and they have such an amazing experience. And what it does is that whether they need my services or not, they might just become a fan, or I get an email inquiry. So there's heaps of different ways of seeing traffic to your website. Again, I want to keep the focus on the actual website in this webinar and lead pages, because that's why you're here. I've got other ones on that one. Now, this is straight from Martha as well, perceived and real value. I made this point before. Your website has to be that brilliant that people look at it and go, wow, you are a market leader. So I'll tell you this, if you go to your website and you open it up, if you don't feel right about it, it's not right. You want to feel right about it. So I look at my website with pride and I love it. Look, it's not perfect, it never will be. I'm forever improving it, but I love my website and people love it because it sells. So you got to make sure that I think you're awesome. You know that you're awesome, but your website has to convince people that they're completely awesome. And I can't stress that enough. Great example is Apple, albeit Apple have been slipping lately. I'm not sure how long I'll keep Apple as an example because they've had a recent decrease in their stock price because they've lost innovation. But what I will say is Apple is great with their brand. Got a great color, great style. It really stands out. It looks premium. They've got other issues right now, which is the topic of another webinar. You guys might recognize that. This is an old one. This is, of course, the BP Helios. It just looks beautiful. It looks amazing. Again, I'm not here to talk about branding tonight, but what I am here to talk about is making sure your website looks right. You've got a great logo. The colors are good. It looks just fantastic. This, again, is from Martha as well. This is one of the photos that she talks about in many of her workshops. Talks about, notice there's here. There's two sides to it. You have design and user experience. On the right-hand side, basically you can see the footpath. That is what we want people to do. However, on the left, people are behaving in a different manner. Now, it's very important to know what pages people are going to on your websites and how they're doing it. And we can measure that for free using Google Analytics. So if you don't have Google Analytics set up on your website, please do that. It's so very important. I love Google Analytics because you can look at where people are going on your website, what pages they're visiting, and the actual experience that they're having. Because if you've got pages on your website that aren't working, you might get rid of them, you might tweak them, all that type of thing. Very, very important. That's where Google Analytics, please make note of that. The other point I want to make as well is that you've got really 7 seconds to attract people or less. Your website's got to make such a great impression to keep them. And there's this title there called WIIFM, What's in it for me? It's got to talk really to their motives, okay? Also, as well, you have the packaging. Now, what I'm talking about packaging here is how people buy your services. So you might be a custom sort of business where people have to make an inquiry and you give a custom quote or something like that, which is totally cool. Or, for example, you might have actual packages that people can just buy online. So it's good to, again, this is not so much it is a website issue. It's more of a business marketing issue, though. You want to work out how people buy from you and have it available in those different manners. Now, I made reference to this earlier, and this is the analytics and tracking, which I completely swear about. Now, this is actually a screenshot I took from my website from actually recently. So I took the screenshot the other day when I was updating this webinar, and you'll see actually what's going on my website. So within the last 30 days, taken from January 20th, I've had 1,457 people visit my website. Those people on average visited 2.25 pages, which basically means this: on average, people visit 2 pages on my website. So they go to the homepage. On average, most people are clicking on something. That's a mixture of people who leave immediately and people that click on 20, 30 pages. On average, people spend a minute on my website, which could be a bit higher. My bounce rate's actually a little bit high, and there's a reason for that. 20% of people will actually remain on my website more than 7 seconds. A lot of people bounce off it. The reason for that is I get a lot of random traffic due to SEO. So that's actually not a huge problem. And you'll see a little pie chart. Now, you'll notice that, see that little line there? This is great. See that little spike? See that day where I had almost 200 people visit my website? I wrote an awesome blog that went viral, and a lot of people read it. So you can sort of see there, and this is why, this is just Google Analytics. This is just part of it. You can go into so much information in Google Analytics. We can look at what page they're visiting. We can look at what countries they're visiting from. It is incredible. And now a lot of people is, if you've just got a new website, your issue is you won't have enough traffic. So you want to, you probably want to do Facebook, LinkedIn, go to events, add people to your database, and build up your traffic. Now, what's interesting here is a minute doesn't sound like long, but it actually is long on a website as an average, because that's a mixture of people who leave immediately and a mixture of people who might spend 10, 20 minutes on there, which a lot of people do. So ultimately, you've got to think of it this way. Based on what you're selling, you don't need a lot of customers to make a lot of money. So if I'm getting 1,457 visiting my website every month, I don't need many of them converting to have an amazing business, which I do. So please, if you're not into Google Analytics, please get into it. If anything, one criticism I will make of myself was I wish I got into Google Analytics a lot earlier. So please get into it. It's free. Get your web person set it up, and it's just fantastic. Here's just an example. This is, again, Facebook Analytics. Again, I want to keep it on the website. You can get great information from Facebook as well to help you sort of evaluate what is going on, but I don't want to spend too much time on that one. The other important bit as well before I go into examples is updates and maintenance. You want to make sure that your website's well maintained, it's not getting hacked or anything like that. And the other point is as well, and this is one of Martha's famous examples, which I really like, is how you can build a brand from scratch. Now, this is the Turnbull Hosted's Wall Drugstore. Now, this drugstore apparently just existed on its own out in the desert. And they did such a good job of building it over time that it built its own community over time, and it's become absolutely amazing. What the store interestingly does, it uses a lot of online to bring customers to it. So it's a bit of an interesting story. I've never actually been there. I understand that Martha's been there, but it's an example of something that came from nothing and built an amazing business. And these days they're quite heavily into online. Now, the winning formula for a great website is you've got a great website plus the right traffic equals profitability. So I just want to sort of divide up your thinking for the moment. You need the website, it has to be wonderful, and you have to be sending the right people the right expectation there. So if you've got an awesome website, if you're seeing the wrong people, no sales. If you're seeing that, this used to be my problem, if you've got a very average website, which I used to have, and you're sending the right people there and they're not signing up, you've got a website issue. So I just want you to understand those two different details just so you keep them in mind, because there's still two separate issues there which are concurrently going on. Heaps of ways of getting traffic to your website. And I just want to actually go into a few examples now of what we have out there. Now, interestingly enough, this is actually from our Meetup group. And our Meetup, which is an event site, if you're not familiar, we run our own Meetup group. Now, you notice that this is a page from our Meetup group. You notice how it looks really good. It's got really good wording at the top, designing your website for maximum sales, conversion, and profitability. And the photos are really dynamic and engaging. I can't stress that enough. You want your website colorful, you want it interesting, you want it on brand, you want great photos that really stand out. Here is my website, wonderful friends, and I absolutely love it. This is, I just took the screenshot before. This is actually the screenshot from the homepage of my website, and I wish to use it as an example. I love my website. I've spent a lot of money on it, and it converts, and it's very powerful. Now, first thing you see on my website, it's on brand, and I just want to use this as an example to simulate your own thinking. Got my logo at the top. Blue and white are sort of and black are the team colors. And you'll see my tagline right there. More clients, more money, more time. So when people go to my website, they know exactly what I stand for. And there's my value proposition. Get more profitable, high-value clients. And a bit of subtext. Edward has generated over $100 million in revenues as clients and helped thousands of businesses succeed and multiply sales. Now, notice I'm being very direct there. I'm being very straightforward with people as to what my business does. Now, I'm a marketing mentor. Notice I haven't said the word marketing at this bit at least. I do later on all the time. But the point is that you sell the outcome of your service, and it's very important. So what I expect from everyone is if I go to your website and I open it up, I need your benefit and strength to hit me totally in the head. And to me, it's very important because at the end of the day, you don't hire my business because you want help with marketing. Well, you do. You ultimately want more profitable, high-value clients, which is the outcome of marketing. So again, this is so much not it is a website issue, but it's very important that your language that you use is about the benefit and the outcome. Now, if you scroll down a little bit on my website, this is just the home pages, are just scrolling down. This is when it gets into the detail. You're invited to join Edward Zia's awesome marketing vault, learn the latest sales and marketing strategy. It's got a few bullet points, and it's got, notice that great photo there with us, with our Mercedes client. We're looking wonderful. And basically, as you scroll down my website, it gives you a lot of different information, works incredibly well for me. It has testimonials in there, letters of recommendation. You can click to start a free trial. And I'll go back a little bit as well. My website's a little bit different compared to other websites as an example. What it actually does is I sell my awesome Marketing Vault mentoring program on the homepage, but then you'll notice along the top there, I've got home, members login, that's for my members area, my account, members. I've got blog, and I've got mentoring and contact us, and then I've got my social media links on the right. Now, what's very important is the contact us button's very important. Mentoring is the other services I of course sell when people hire me face-to-face, and blog is the regular information and that I put out there. So you can sort of see the different categories that I've got. On a very common one, like let's say I've got an online product. Let's say that you don't, which a lot of people don't because you do it later on. You might have home, about us in the media. It might be your mentoring. It might be your services. You could have little submenus, and you've got to have a good contact us button. Now, one thing you'll notice as well, and of course the social media tabs are very good because people like to check out your social media and just verify that you are the real McCoy. It's great as well. There's nothing wrong with your website pages being long as it's relevant. So as you scroll down, you see the great information. Now, here's just another screenshot. Blogging is a strategy I recommend to a lot of people. This is just a screenshot from my blog page. So when you click blog, this is what you see. Blogging, again, I don't want to talk too much about blogging, so I want more focus on websites. Blogging is a great strategy. I suggest to a lot of people you write a blog a week, put it on your website. I personally blog every day. And what you actually do is that through regular blogging, through regular information, it does a lot of things. It makes your website look rich so people know that you're in the zone and know that you're relevant. You can also share that content through your social media to bring traffic to your website, but also the other bit, forgetting social media for the moment, is see I've got these different articles here. There's just 6 articles on that screen. Each of them is its own page, and that's being indexed by Google. So the more pages you have on your website is the more likely you are to appear on search. So that's just putting out there. But notice how my blog gets rave reviews. People love it. Because of how beautiful it is and how thought-provoking it is as well. And also as well, another issue, I talk about controversial stuff to make it nice and interesting. Here is just a photo of an actual just blog when you click on it. So you click on the blog, you'll notice that you got strong graphics, strong text. It's very beautiful and potent from that point of view. So you've got to make sure that it really looks the part. And this is the point I want to make, and this is sort of where the point that Martha made earlier. It's got to look premium. It's just got to look beautiful because you got to speak to the subconscious mind. I'll go back to the slide here, which I just cannot stress enough. It's really important. It's the one with the stormtrooper. That's actually Daniel Craig dressed up as a stormtrooper talking to Rey from The Force Awakens, which is an amazing film. All right. Your website needs to influence the conscious mind as much as it does the subconscious mind. People got to look at it and think, wow, this is just incredible, and I really like it. So it's about that premium brand experience. I cannot stress that enough. Please keep that in mind. It's got to be the part as well as look the part equally. Now, this is very important. Most people stuff it up. They get a very good Contact Us page. What I like having there on the Contact Us page, I put my tagline in there. It's good to include a map. So that's a map where my PO box is located. It's good for several reasons. A, it looks good because obviously I've got a PO box in the QVB building, which is pretty awesome. And the other thing that is just fantastic as well, and this is what makes it look wonderful, is that map also integrates with Google, so I get more presence there. And as well, you can see my details. There's my email address, support@excellenceabove.com.au. And as well, people can use the email form to make an inquiry. Now, what's important about all this, and I just want to get this point across, I don't have my phone number on there. Feel free to put yours on there, like a 1300 or a landline. In my business, I personally don't put a phone number on there because people usually email me first, and then I usually talk to them from there if it's working out. But depending on your business, yes, a lot of businesses, I would recommend a phone number. It just depends on what you do. My business, email is a great first point of contact. People say hello. If things sort of go well, then we just organize a time to speak. So it all works great. Now, here's another example. This is my awesome military transport industrial client by the name of Joko. This is a engineering website, so totally different industry to what I'm doing. And they love their website. They make an incredible amount of money in it. I made reference to it before. They used to have a real old crappy website and used to get very poor clients in. Now they get much bigger clients coming through. Now there's a lot of reasons for that, but a good website repels the wrong people and brings in the right people. Now this website's beautiful. Great logo. And I know this website's beautiful. I know the numbers. They make a lot of money out of this website. They love it. Don't worry about the search bar too much. Well, actually, I'll just tell you what it is. It may or may not relate to you awesome people. They sell hundreds of different shapes and sizes of silicon, of like solid military transport grade silicon. So there's a little search box. People can type in the dimension they're searching for and find it. They can call at the top right and it'll go straight to them. You notice that there's no animation there, but it says world leaders in silicon extruders and gaskets. That's actually a rotating banner with some beautiful different graphics. That looks just wonderful. To view products by shape and size, click here. That's a shortcut, which takes them to the search menu. Now, the bit's interesting. This is a bit I want to point out. This is the gateway concept I was talking about before. They can click the different buttons that will take them through different parts of the website. And it's very important because they have websites from about 6 different industries coming through. And what is incredibly important is based on whoever visits their website, the idea is they can look at it at one glance, click on where they want to go. So a good website has good user flow that takes people through the right experience, and I can't stress that enough. Here's another example for one of our awesome clients. I don't think it's from Awesome Govinda from Advanced Education Australia. They run basically a beauty educational college. They do beauty, business, aged care, and childcare. And this is just a cut of their website. Really beautiful graphics. They've got a video that auto plays because it's all about quality image, and they get a lot of leads. I keep an eye on their leads that they get through Facebook and they get through LinkedIn, and they're doing incredibly well. Oh, they're through Facebook and their website. It's a beautiful website. It's just aea.edu.au. Definitely worth checking out. Here's another example. This is me. I love Microsoft, as you know. This is a bit of an old example, but see how simple it is. I actually have based a lot of my marketing on what I've learned from Microsoft, and it's been a good move. Microsoft has taken out Apple in many points of view, and online they're very powerful. Their websites are clean, beautiful, simple, premium graphics, and this is selling the Surface Book and the Surface tablets, which is what I use and recommend. And you notice it just looks great. And here's the interesting point. Make the most of your 24 hours. They're not saying we've got the highest resolution screens. They're talking about the productivity of the device, but see, it's just a beautiful photo, simple caption. And see, it's got a little button. So at the top, you've got the navigation bar. You've got a beautiful photo. It looks like some awesome woman, very intelligent white-collar woman who's drawing something on the Surface tablet. And then it's got some great wording on the left, which is just fantastic. Very simple. Now, the reason why I bring this up, you don't have to have a lot of wording. Please don't think that. Please don't think that. Now, here's another different example. No, I did not build this website, and I wish I did. This is Dubai Tourism. This is one of my most favorite websites ever. Now, I do encourage you to check it out after the webinar. Please don't leave the webinar now. We're always finished it anyway. Dubai Tourism, beautiful website. And what's amazing about it is this is just a screenshot of it. As you scroll down the website, it's like a mosaic and it has all these different tiles. And I've actually done this test on a bunch of different people. It doesn't matter who you are. Something will pick you up on that website, and everyone's different. You got maybe about 30 to 40 different tiles, and one tile triggers people. So it's like, for example, I don't really care about, if you look at this page, I could not care about shopping. I'm not really into it, but the Etihad Museum, coming from a Middle Eastern background myself, that has a massive appeal to me. So I'll check it out. It's amazing how they do it, and it's quite a long scrolling website, which is just incredible. Now, friends, we're going really well. We're going to finish up very soon. We've gone through a lot of detail. I'm just going to talk about lead pages for the moment. Leadpages.net, you can just type in that link. Lead Pages is a template subscription service where you can build quality lead pages in just minutes. You can integrate with GoToWebinar, MailChimp, opt-in forms, and you've got powerful analytics, and you can't do this yourself. Now, the way it works is, let's say you want someone to opt into a form on your website. MailChimp, which does really good email marketing, you can put an opt-in form on your website so people can sign up. No problem, works really well. Lead Pages takes it to the next level. So Lead Pages is basically a subscription service which controls all your lead pages, be it it's a little box on your website that people click, or be it it's a full webinar page that you would have filled in to participate in this webinar, or it could be in that. It costs anything from $30 to $60 a month. I think I'm paying $60 a month from memory, but it gives you a lot of functionality. Here's a screenshot of their page that I just took before. No, I'm not a partner of Lead Pages. I wish I did get commissions, but I don't. I'm just being totally straight up with you, awesome people. It's the world's number one landing page builder. And what you'll notice is that when you're going to Lead Pages, you'll have standard templates. And it tells you from its, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands of paying users, it tells you which templates are the best based on conversion rate. So I'll give you an example. If you look at this very carefully, at the top left, so you've got the standard templates, you'll actually see the template, which is that's actually the template which my webinar page is created from. So it gives you the base template, and then using its drag and drop editor, you can very much edit it. Now, I love Lead Pages for a lot of reasons because they know exactly where to put the right box. They know exactly what colors. They know the basic layout that you have to do to make it work. And what I also love about it looks beautiful on mobile. So of the webinar you're in tonight, that's just a screenshot taken from my mobile phone. And it just looks beautiful. So to me, Lead Pages solves a lot of problems because if you're trying to fill live webinars, if you want to fill live events, it also integrates with Eventbrite too, I understand. You want to get opt-ins for your ebooks or whatever, Lead Pages is superior technology for that, and it saves a lot of time. So if you do want to go on that heavy opt-in webinar path, I can only highly recommend it for you. It's just fantastic. This is the webinar that you're in tonight, which is loading up. Oh, correction, this is an earlier webinar that I've done, and it's very easy to do. So what happens is once I finish this webinar, I'll then upload my next webinar, and I'll have this lead page updated within 10 minutes. It's incredibly fast in the way that it works. Okay, here's an example. When you go to the lead page and people click on it, brings up that little opt-in box and people can put in their email address and their name, and that automatically goes straight into the database. Very, very, very powerful. It also gives incredible analytics. So for the actual live webinar page, overall, because I keep the same page, you can see there 3,124 people, different people. Correction. There's been 3,124 unique sessions on my live webinar page and 284 have signed up. So 9% conversion rate. What it means is, so out of 100 people, almost 1 out of 10 will sign up to my live webinar, which is actually makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, you're giving up time of your life to be here, which is amazing. So it works incredibly well. Now, this is where I can integrate my website. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom of my website, and this is very powerful, on the footer, you can subscribe to my email database. All you do is hit the subscribe button, and as you can see, that brings up this little box. You can put in this email address, and once you put that in, you instantly, within, let's say, 5-10 minutes, you'll get some free material sent to you, and then you'll get my regular emails, and it's all automated. It's beautiful. You can set up whatever you want. It can just add people. You can get it to send them information. You can get them to send them an ebook. The possibilities are endless, and it goes back to what I was saying before. It's about automated marketing. It's absolutely important. Just so you know as well, if you don't want lead pages beyond the subscribe button, you can do it with just MailChimp directly as well. So MailChimp does do that directly. That's a main email platform I recommend, but this just works incredibly well, something I want to point out. So there you go, friends. We're actually coming towards the end. I'm just going to wrap this up because we are a little bit over time, but it's such a passionate topic, which I love. But I want to go through a few honourable mentions to back up what I've talked about. Your website is part of your whole brand. Make it consistent. So please make it look wonderful. Lead capture is important. So if you've got a website and 1,000 people are visiting it a month and you're not getting any business out of it, there's something going wrong. It might be the wrong traffic, might need more time, or there's something wrong with the website. Now, this is not a website issue, but it's important. You've got to respond to leads as soon as possible. I cannot stress that. You've got to respond to leads ASAP. The sooner you respond to leads, the better. You can get them in several ways. You can get it through Facebook Messenger. You can get it through emails. There's heaps of different ways that the leads can come in. Make sure it looks powerful and stacks up. Make sure it works beautiful on mobile. Make sure your meta tags and wording is right. That means it indexes correctly, and your website is only as good as marketing. So there you go, friends. This takes us to the end of our webinar. If you've got any questions, I'm just going to do a quick wrap. If you've got any questions, please get them through now. But I just want to thank the XCOM, Spock, South Park, all the different people that I've been inspired by and quoted here. So I just want to thank all the content that I've used. And just as well, if you're not a client, I'd love to work with you, and I've got some great free and premium tools to help. Just so in case you don't work with me, I can help you create your marketing strategy and plan, mentor, motivate, and inspire you. I can also help you get your key strategies off the ground, be it your website, email marketing, and all that. Also, as well, a lot of people work with me through our awesome marketing mentoring program, just a beautiful $97 a month. As well as I've got some great resources too. If you're not into some great resources as well, please check out my blog. I write daily stories. Join my email database. You can opt in. You can also access Module 1 of my awesome marketing vault for free. And also as well, please, if you're not friends on Facebook and LinkedIn, please feel free to add me now. Edward Zia is my personal page. You can add me there, and my business page is Awesome Marketing with Edward Zia. And of course, as well, if you like what you see and you want to work with me, we can work one-on-one through a mentoring program, or the Awesome Marketing Vault is just fantastic. So there you go. This brings us to the end of our live webinar experience. I hope you've had a fantastic one. There's my website and there's my email address. So if you've got any questions, please ask me, because you've been an absolutely quiet yet brilliant audience. So just to say thank you for coming. Thank you for this 41 minutes. It's been humongous. So yes, recording will be coming out tonight and tomorrow. If you've got any questions, please ask. Just want to say thank you for joining for this webinar. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make your website convert, kick some butt, stay awesome, and I wish you an amazingly great evening, day or night.